Danielle.
Hi, Casey. Welcome to another episode of Bonus Sesh.
This is fun.
I've been really enjoying myself. Now, these are sort of deeper dive episodes on certain topics that we don't maybe get to give the proper amount of time to in our regular podcast.
Or the attention, yeah.
Yeah, and one person I know we give a lot of love to her in the podcast, but I don't think we give her enough time is one Kenya Moore.
I agree 100%. I'm just going to give a few little facts and overview of Kenya before we get into her entertainment body of work.
Yes, please.
Kenya Moore was born on January 24th, 1971. I'm not sure we were really touching down on her age.
No.
God bless. She looks unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Born in Detroit, Michigan. Her birth name, this is interesting, was Kenya Summer Moore.
Really?
That's nice.
She's
5'10".
That tracks. I believe that.
So Kenya, as we all know, now she's kind of saying that she's an actress producer now, and she's known for her work in Dolls of Voodoo, I Know Who Killed Me, and The Confidant. And this says she's been married to Mark Daly since June 10th, 2017.
Oh, she got on the day of the wedding. She got on IMDb.
I feel like that was updated by her.
Yeah, of course.
So Kenya was raised by her grandmother, Doris, and her grandmother she cites as her primary inspiration in life. Mm-hmm. And I think, as we all know, she was 4th place in Miss Universe 1993.
And 1st place in Miss USA.
Unbelievable.
I actually watched her crowning last night.
Really?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can find it.
And how was it?
Anticlimactic, I would say. I just thought there was going to be more of a moment. They don't let them give a speech or say thank you or anything. She looked quite different, though. I know we all age and all of that, and I don't think she looks like she's had a lot of plastic surgery. It's not like Nene, where you're like, this person has done a lot to their face. That doesn't strike me as Kenya's way, but she did look so different to me. She kind of looked like a different person.
Huh.
And then they sing this really weird song, at the end, I guess it's Dick Clark singing or something like, "You've made it, you're the one." It's so strange.
Was she happy?
She was thrilled. And they showed her grandmother out in the audience and screaming. It was very sweet, but it was sort of just they just they didn't get to say anything. I was disappointed by that.
Now, Kenya's a graduate of Cass Technical High School in Detroit, Michigan. Now, you would think to yourself, from a technical college, would other famous alumni also be from there? The answer is yes.
Who?
Diana Ross.
What?
David Allen Greer. Maybe you've heard of these people. Lily Tomlin.
Wow, she's really, this is someone who, this is the Fame School in New York.
And IMDb also takes the time to list a personal quote from Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads this, and this is on Portia Williams.
That's her who IMDb quotes from?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is speaking of Portia Williams.
Uh-huh.
Some people work for a living and some people twerk for a living.
Oh, shade.
Gorgeous. She really is the full package.
Oh, the full package. And I didn't appreciate her as much as you did coming into these shows.
I know you didn't.
I was such, I think, a Phaedra fan that it blinded me to who Kenya Moore is, because they were, enemies basically. And so I just didn't want to see what was there with Kenya, but you had a love for her that was so strong. And I'm not sure if it's because you met her. Is that why you loved her from the beginning or no?
Actually, it's not. That seems chicken and the egg, but I loved her before I met her. Mm-hmm. And it was at the TCA Awards. I was pregnant with my first son. I was so sick I had to lie down in the car on the way to Pasadena, Erica Jane's stomping grounds,
yes,
where it was held. And I literally was so sick. I thought to myself, and this is not an exaggeration, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, a red carpet and a panel and all of that. And then I see her, Kenya Moore. And I'm like, I truly am not someone that goes up to people. I'm really, and I know everybody says that.
No,
and then it's but you are actually someone that does that. But I'm not. And I just said, I've got to stop you. And my publicist was embarrassed for me. I said, I love you so much on the show. And she had such a nice heart. And that's why, you're right, that has amped up my love for her. Because what I saw and what I suspect you might see in Elisa Rinner, if you met her on the street, is an actually very warm, nice person that I'm surprised has gotten been so misunderstood on the show.
Mm-hmm. No, I see that now because I have watched her, and I watched her last season try and make up with Phaedra in a way that her heart was open.
Yes.
A lot had been said about her. They spread so many vicious lies and rumors. And she came back with an open heart and said, let's try and make this happen. And sometimes she went about it in the wrong way. She's awkward. She's clumsy sometimes with her emotions.
Yes. And you know, it's funny because everyone calls her crazy on the show. Like, there's so many articles where Nene Leakes brands Kenya Moore as crazy. And even Cynthia says she's gone with the wind crazy. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think she's actually not. And that's a question I would have for Andy. Mm-hmm. It's a true question, if anyone would be honest enough to answer it, which is, is it unspoken, or do you actually ask people to kind of amp up, or people who are really nice to be meaner? Or is this a personal choice on their part to kind of make them stand out?
I bet there's no one asking per se, but it's like, you want stage time, make your stage time, basically. And so that's what they know. They have to, work hard for their money. They have to sing for their supper.
And I think there's a great comparison to be made between Kenya Moore and Lisa Rinna. Hustlers.
Now, Kenya Moore, she has had a long and storied career, and so has Lisa Rinna. They have both been in the worlds of exercise, and the worlds of beauty, in the worlds of performance, in the worlds of selling whatever you can to make it work and doing it yourself. Kenya Moore does it herself. She is a producer. Now, I would like everyone at this time you can stop the podcast if you need to, and I would like to turn your attention to something. You can find it on YouTube. It is Kenya Moore's pilot that we saw a little of on the show, our TV pilot for Life Twirls On. You can Google it. It is on YouTube. It is a fast watch.
It flies by?
It flies by.
Or is it short?
Well, it's short in that this pilot itself is probably about 15 minutes. There are 4 series of commercials in there that take up some time. Sometimes it's the same commercial twice. But it flies because there's not a lot there. But I believe she did this all herself.
Now, before we hear Danielle, I'm getting an idea here, because I like that she's just simply advertising for her own products. And that might be the misstep we're making on the Real podcast, which is like,
why aren't we?
Should we just be doing ads for our t-shirts or our tour shows?
We should be. What are we doing?
Well, we want money.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the other ads give us more money.
Maybe. We can't afford to pay ourselves at all.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's see. So here's some of this pilot and see some of it.
Yeah. So just so you know, at the beginning, the premise is Kenya's getting married. Now, we can see her desire to get married in real life throughout most of her artwork, just like you would see in a Van Gogh.
Artwork?
Just as Van Gogh was struggling with things, and you see that in his painting, and you see that in his artwork. You see his wants, his needs, his desperation in all of his work, Same with Kenya Moore. You see her wants and her needs in her art, and I think that is obvious. So I'm just going to play the beginning for you guys of this pilot.
This is the happiest day of my life. The day that every woman dreams of as a little girl. Just look at his fine self. Meet Henry Bryant, my college sweetheart. It's not every day that a 30-year-old virgin like myself gets married. What? Okay, let me stop. A 35-year-old virgin. Okay already. I'm 40 and not a virgin. My beautiful sisters are my bridesmaids. Most people think I'm the baby of the bunch. Wait, okay, I was just playing with you guys. Damn, a sister can't have jokes. Anywho, that's my middle sister, Robin Brown. She's a prominent psychiatrist in the Atlanta area and arguably the smartest. And that's Megan. She recently dropped out of college and is trying to get her degree in gold digging. Sorry, that was shady. And that's my fabulous Aunt Lorraine. Have you ever seen a more beautiful bride? That's me, Kenya Brown. Okay, I'm happy. Leave me alone. Oh, that's nobody but Brian. I call him Baby Boy. He's my assistant and best friend. Yeah, don't ask, don't tell. Yes, it was all so picture perfect. But that's not what really happened. This is what really happened. Calm down. Oh, just got real.
And she's chasing them down the hall with a knife.
Danielle? Not fucking joking. That's great.
It's great. No, it is. The cold
It's great
open
writing.
is great.
Come to Hollywood, Kenya.
Yes.
Get the hell out of Atlanta and become a writer.
The cold open is really good. Like, as people we are who have written pilots, shot pilots in the Hollywood system,
To varying
that is
degrees
a
of
great,
success.
Yeah, it is a great cold open.
I'll tell you what, with 3, like the callbacks in her age and doing
Yeah.
the record scratch and knowing to do it, that was great. That was a funny joke.
Fantastic. I will say the cold open is fantastic. What I also have to say is that is some of the best of the work, but it has potential and it's good. And I felt really proud of her during
Honestly,
this
I
pilot.
liked it. It was
It's
really,
good.
really good.
It's
and
good.
you guys aren't seeing it, but all of that voiceover, of which there is a lot of voiceover.
Yes. And I will also say that the quality of the voiceover could be better.
Look, in the quality of our, we're just holding up a mic to a computer. So
Yeah.
our sound quality could also be better. But I feel like that was really funny. The women that are playing her sisters are gorgeous.
Yeah.
It looks like a very nice kind of expensive set.
Yeah. No, I don't know. This is to shoot a pilot is so expensive, and it looks good. She looks good. Everyone looks good. Like, she does a great job, especially because it seems like she did so much of this on her own.
And I like the line, what, a girl can't have jokes?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about myself. I think we can all relate
It's
to that.
solid.
Now, I was struck by, it was kind of a thrown away line, although each line was given kind of the same importance. When she said, that's, Henry, my guy. She said, I call him baby boy, and he's my assistant. Well, assistant.
Well, yeah, well,
Like if I married April.
yeah, well, that wasn't her husband. That was just who was walking her down the aisle.
Okay. I thought baby boy.
No, this was her assistant, who was played by Brandon, her real life assistant / producer friend.
Okay, now I misunderstood.
No, you misunderstood.
And I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign.
I don't know that it's here or there.
Yeah.
But-
no, it's interesting that you keep calling it a pilot, Danielle.
Yes.
Because for those of you who aren't in Hollywood, a pilot means it's the first of a long series.
Yeah, hopefully long series.
Hopefully. Did we have any more?
No, that is the only episode. I will say that there were things that don't track in the show that you just
Yeah, we just let go of.
that you have to just let go of, because I do think Kenny gives a great performance. I think she's a really good actress, Casey.
Does baby boy come back?
Yes, he does. He's sort of the comedic relief.
Uh-oh. I'm telling you, she's not bad. That was
No,
not
there
bad.
were some real heartfelt moments. So
That
I
is by
felt-
far and away of anything like that, the best that I've seen coming out of a housewife.
Now there
I
is
feel like
some.
she needs to get hooked up with Tyler Perry.
Oh, beyond. I think there's better acting here. Like, I think Tyler Perry in the Medea movies is funny as anything. Like,
me
Tyler
too.
Perry as Medea is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Love it.
A great actor in that part. But I also think Kenya's better. Like, she's good. She's subtle. She's not too big. Like, it's really interesting. I will say that there are some things that don't make sense quite in the movie. She thinks her fiance is cheating on her at some point, and the reason she thinks this is because her baby sister, the quote unquote slutty one, goes into another room because she forgot the boutonniere or something like that, and she goes into the guest room, and she happened to have no reason known left her dildo in the guest room.
I love that.
And so she's going to look for the boutonniere and stumbles on her dildo, and she's like, what's this doing in here? It's hers. She knows it's hers. She forgot it in there. She
recognizes
She
it.
recognized it as her own. And then the fiance comes in and he's like, what you got there? And they're struggling over the dildo because she's like, she didn't want him to see it. She wanted to hide her dildo. And Kenya walks in, and I'm not
Seeing them in a scuffle.
seeing
over
them in
dildo.
a scuffle, and it almost not even looks like she has a dildo. It almost looks like just that she's giving him a hand job, the way that they're
Oh, is that intentional?
unclear.
Okay.
But that is the biggest misunderstanding.
Now, why was he upset to see a dildo in there?
I don't think he was upset. He was just like, what you got there? Like, what are you hiding from me?
I see.
and misunderstandings, as in all good comedy sitcoms,
Gotta have him.
ensue. And hijinks. And so that makes them sort of like, that's separate. That calls off the wedding, basically.
Okay.
So she misunderstood.
See, I like that structure. That's also a classic structure.
Yeah.
So we're opening with a perfect wedding, but things are not as they seem, and then we flash back. I love that structure.
Yeah. Now, also, as I said before,
That's how Father of the Bride opened.
Oh yeah, of course. Again, everything is there. How they get there, it sort of doesn't matter. Like, we're always trying to, and I almost wish we weren't, and I say this totally real, like we're always trying to make things make so much sense, but really I don't think people care. Watching this, I didn't need to know why that dildo was in that thing.
I do. I'm curious.
I was just like, give me jokes.
So
I don't
she didn't
care.
wrap it up. Like we didn't find out later, and I'm just spitballing here, that like a caterer and her had a liaison in the guest room before.
It's forgotten.
Okay.
It's never spoken of.
Or I'm spitballing again. Someone's mad at the sister or mad at Kenya, and they planted it there.
Again, it's not necessary to the plot. I mean, you
Why
think
did
it is?
she have her dildo?
I don't know, Casey. Stop asking questions.
Was that Kenya's house?
I believe it is. Or it's the aunt's house.
Oh, the fabulous aunt.
The fabulous aunt. I believe it's her house.
One other thing I like about this, and we'll move on. I appreciate the amount of female parts and characters.
Oh, more than anything, there's like one scene with guys where they're all just talking about like how they met Kenya or whatever. But otherwise, it's mostly
very female driven.
And then
cast.
Brandon.
This is like Big Little Lies.
Oh yeah, completely. Without all the explaining that they do in.
Who needs it?
As I've said before,
Dispense with it.
I have basically said, like, I feel like anytime I'm getting anything, it's always like, tell me why this is happening. And I'm always like, who cares? I got jokes for you.
Who cares?
That's how I truly feel. Like, I know a lot of times I say things facetiously. I'm like not being facetious at all right now. I'm
not, nor am I. I had some
cares?
laughs. Who
cares? Okay, so now some other things that you should know about. Okay, so there are 4 commercial breaks, which
Correct.
is a lot. And they are all.
That's more than happens on primetime.
Yeah, for sure. And they are all Kenya's commercials for Kenya Moore's literal hair care product line.
Which, if I'll step in here, we remember her launch happened on Atlanta. And if you'll recall, Danielle, much like Algae 22, in Dallas, the product was not ready.
No,
at the time of launch. Seems to be a lot of problems for the housewives, like stuck at the like warehouse phase or the where
just
is
never
it?
getting off
like
the ground.
chemistry lab.
Yeah,
like
or even Charade never had a fashion show with no fashion. Like
exactly,
these things
but
happen.
it does not stop anyone for celebrating the product. So what I loved was that at Kenya's party, she had the boxes, like she had like the packaging, and she put it all out like on pedestals, so people naturally were inclined to look for the bottle of the product, and there was none. It was just empty boxes, and that rubbed some people the wrong way.
People
Everyone
that wanted to try the product, perhaps. Yes, but she has 4 commercials, and her character in this show works. It made her millions, and she's a millionaire, I believe. Made her millions as a shampoo mogul.
Guys, integrated product placement.
Integrated product placement.
She's ahead of her time.
Smooth as silk.
Because this wasn't just yesterday.
No, but when you see where it actually is, like her storefront, it seems to be more of a nursery, like for plants. And
what's that?
I'm going to show you this in a second. And her coworker in the store is one Cynthia Bailey, playing a Jamaican woman.
Okay, can we cut to that?
Yes.
Good morning, Miss Kenya. What to go on?
Good morning, Cece.
Everything okay? You're looking real good now. You take me even see a glow about you, gal.
Oh, it's just a little bronzing powder.
No, me definitely see a glow about you. Now, you know me not one for gossip. But them tell me you done went and had them crazy people break down.
I'm fine, Cece.
No, miss, them tell me you go cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. You try to turn yourself into a young gal, Miss Kenya. Now, Miss Kenya, you know Spring Goose. Now, listen. This more hair care, it say right here that it grow my hair real long down my back. I want it real long like yours. And I know that it is really because I didn't check for track. So tell me the truth, gal. What will it do for this? Tell me now. Tell me. Look at it real good now. I want it long.
I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, it said right here real long.
Where is she?
Okay. Now that is
Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is a shock. Oh my God. Guys. Okay. I know you couldn't see what Cynthia was wearing, but it's wild. It's a wild kind of Jamaican garb.
Yeah, and her accent is real all over the place.
And then in the end, when it turns inexplicably into an ad,
a hair care commercial.
And I like that Cindy's basically like, I'm trying to think of who kind of the comic relief that would show up.
Yeah.
Like a Josh Gad.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who just comes in and is like, turns everything up on its head.
And she has 2 scenes. Just so you know. FYI.
So Cynthia, as we know to be such a beautiful woman, I feel she really does this role like Charlize in Monster, Nicole Kidman in The Hours.
Exposing themselves, truly.
When she says I have no hair, she takes off her head wrap, revealing, and I am not kidding, about 4 strands of hair that I believe is Cynthia's real hair.
Unclear. It's insane.
This is not a glamour role.
No.
For Cynthia. And I'm impressed with that.
No, she and her makeup looks insane too. Like when we see Cynthia, even fresh face. I mean, Cynthia is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my entire life.
Kind of feels to me like sometimes my agents will call me with a role and they'll be like, oh, you're offered this part in an indie movie. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Then I'll look at it and it's about 2 lines and it's made for like $1. But they'll say to me, you know what? We need to build up your dramatic reel.
We want to see you in a different light.
And I say it's worth doing it. And I humble myself. And Cynthia's done the same here.
Oh, completely.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And do you see what I mean about like her hair care place seems to be in like a nursery, like a plant store?
I do. So you're telling me that is supposed to be... Now, who is CC to Kenya?
It's unclear.
It doesn't seem she works there.
I thought... This is what I decided because I needed to explain it to myself.
Passerby?
Was because I think she works here. I think this is her shop. This is where she gets the plants to make her shampoos.
Okay. That is good. So Cece owns the nursery. Kenya's merely there to get product.
I don't know. No, I don't.
What I read is that Kenya's at work in her corporation set in a nursery. Cece comes in off the streets as kind of like...
Cece's working there.
Okay.
I mean, she's carrying plants.
Okay. Well, Danielle, now if you would, I would love to... Okay, so everyone please note, that was not the commercials.
No,
it seems like it was because she geniusly put the product integration...
Seamless, yes.
Also into the plot, which is so smart. It's like, remember when I was a minor spokesperson for Home Goods, online only. It would be like if I kind of not only made it all of our commercials on the podcast, which I was tempted to do, but I also integrated it fully into our conversations.
Well, as a writer in TV, I've had to integrate product placement into shows before.
You have?
So I've had to integrate...
For what show?
Well, in Hot Wives, they wanted us to, and we wrote tons of scene of like, well, Enterprise will come and they'll just pick you up.
But that's what they do on The Real Housewives.
Yeah, like so I had to try and do that before. I know that feeling.
Racket.
I know that racket. I think in the end for Hot Wives, they didn't end up going with any advertising.
And I know that a lot of creators resent that. And like when they do 30 Rock, Tina Fey and Robert Carlock would always slip it in very baldly and just, it would be funny. But Kenya doesn't seem bothered by it because, of course, again, the product placement is her own.
Yes. So she seems to embrace it in a way I've never seen done and will do in the future.
It's kind of like, I'm doing Weight Watchers and I went to the Weight Watchers meeting place yesterday and the only products they were selling were Oprah's.
Interesting.
It was like her book about This Much I Know Is True. She even has like a shake powder.
Really? Just like her book club
nothing
books?
to do with Weight Watchers.
Wow.
It's interesting. Wow.
Well, so
Could I hear an actual commercial?
Sure. Let me get that.
People always ask me, is that all your hair? Why, yes. Yes, it is. As a child, I was always taught, hair is your crowning glory. As a former Miss USA, I've unlocked the secrets to growing longer, stronger, thicker hair.
Introducing More Hair, an innovative new hair care line designed to grow your real hair longer, stronger, and thicker in just one use. Featuring products for all hair types that are sulfate, phosphate, and paraben free, and over 95% naturally derived.
If you've always wanted more hair, then get it.
Visit kenyamore.com to order.
More hair for hair that's worthy of a crown.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
If
more
you've
hair.
always wanted more hair, then get it.
And more. How her name seamlessly.
Didn't even get that. No, I was like, more hair. Interesting. Just like coming right out with it. More hair.
Yeah.
I got to say, that looked great.
Yeah. The commercials look
I
gorgeous.
want to see if you can get this on Amazon, Danielle, because
More hair? Would
I
you
feel
like
like
to try
she
some?
shouldn't just be. Well, I just
think
feel
it's
like
on her
it
website.
It shouldn't just be on her website.
I
though.
know. Maybe you can get it.
And is it more hair? MOORE?
Uh-huh. But maybe you get more money if you sell it off your website as opposed to Amazon. I'm just not sure. But it feels like you would reach your bigger audience on
It's
Amazon.
on there.
It is. You want to order us some? We always do try
Now
the
look.
products.
Not all products are, simply one. And it's called More Hair Wax Dye Natural Colors for Women and Men with a Rock Star Effect.
Okay. So like that hair wax or something.
Unfortunately, what is coming up is the Vivica A. Fox wig cap.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really on there. You know, that looked great.
Yeah, it looked great.
I sometimes the audio kind of came and went.
Yeah, well, I think there are audio problems throughout. But again, I do feel like Kenya is like holding the boom. And like I feel like Kenya is involved in everything about this. And again, she is a mover. She's a shaker. She goes after it and she gets what she wants. And I'm so fucking impressed.
Is she making any money on any of this?
Unclear. I hope so because she works hard and she deserves it. This is the house that More Manor, this built More Manor, I hope.
Wow.
I forgot to tell you also in that dildo scene, in that room, there is also randomly, for no reason, a huge knife.
And does that come back? I'm sure.
But she picks it up and runs after them as you saw in the opening. And you're like, why were a dildo and a huge, almost butcher knife located in this guest room?
Now, Danielle, I'd like to shift the focus for a second.
Okay.
After everything we've just heard and seen, I think it is obvious. I do think Kenya's a great person. She started an amazing charity, and her mission seems to be to really help women who are victims of domestic violence. And I will also say I felt that charity has kind of the most to offer. Besides Bethany's Puerto Rico relief efforts, some of these charities have seemed wild. What was that charity in New York when they were sewing gemstones on the back of jeans?
And Dorinda sewed coasters onto her jeans.
That was
charity?
the best.
Unclear.
Okay. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There have been some stumbles.
There have been some big old stumbles.
And remember Jill Zarin always would have that charity luncheon way back.
Yes.
Okay. So it seems to me like Kenya is a good person. I think we're making our case. But here are some quotes others have said about her. And it's just, I feel like people are really mean to her.
Oh, they are. I believe it.
Phaedra Parks says of her, you a sneaky trifling slut. That's tough.
Oh.
Apollo Nita says to Kenya Moore, you best hope nothing happens to me because you might not have a job. I'm your storyline. I sustain your career. I built you. So stop playing games.
And meanwhile, who's on the show and who's off?
Exactly. Phaedra Parks. This one's teeth. What you need to know is that your sperm donor needed $10 to get him a medium-sized pizza. So he ejaculated into a cup so you could have a kid.
Oh, I will say, her specifics are amazing.
But that is so hurtful.
So mean. They're all so mean to her.
You're trying to make a kid and she's telling you it's horrible.
It's so easy on some level because Kenya puts herself out there. We know she wants to be married and she wants a family and she doesn't have those things. So it's so easy to hurt her. You know what I'm saying? Everyone else kind of and so her insecurities are out there so boldly. And so they take advantage of that, which is mean, mean, mean.
One more from Portia Williams. And this one's tough too. You a slut from the 90s.
And I only laugh because of the specifics.
And finally, from Miss Nene Leaks. And this was said to Andy Cohen and Kenya Moore. Do I need to pull down your pants and kiss your ass? Should I hold a gay function?
What?
It's homophobic and I can't even
even
follow
know
it.
why. It's homophobic, but I can't tell exactly what the insult is.
It's wild.
It's so strange.
Kenya's gotten the short end of the stick.
She really has. But in the end of the pilot, she wins.
Great. I'm glad to know that. And I feel like in the end of this, whatever Atlanta road takes her, she's winning. She is actually friends with Cynthia Bailey, whereas I've seen with Cynthia and Nene, they're friends again. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like it's like when you take someone back, but you never forget that they've really hurt you.
Yeah.
I think Cynthia is like, I love Nene. We have fun times together, but we're not.
No, they'll never be what they were because
Yes.
Nene, she has seen that Nene has turned on everyone in the past, but Nene can turn on her. It was her time.
And when we saw the charity that Kenya Moore threw for, like, not the charity, I'm sorry, the commercial that
Yes.
she filmed for domestic violence, which again, probably will never air and aired on the show.
Yeah, that was the
But that was
commercial.
smart. That was smart because she wanted to get that domestic violence.
Kenya is smart as a whip.
I
Her and
know.
Rinna, both
but
of
all
them.
the women showed up. And I felt like, yes, they were showing up for the charity, but also because Kenya has mended fences with all of them.
Exactly. She's really going to come out on top. I'm so proud of her. This pilot, I think, is amazing.
I want to watch this pilot.
No, it's great. You should.
Maybe
And
we should pass it around to some networks.
I mean,
I don't have the contacts.
No, I have nothing. I have nobody. But I will say, I'm impressed by her. She is a mover. She's a shaker. She
I'm not
gets
gonna
stuff
lie.
done.
If I had a show on the air right now, it wouldn't be a big part, Danielle. And it might not even be a small part. But I would consider bringing her in.
Would you bring me in too?
No. I would say Kenya Moore, throw yourself on tape in Atlanta. We're not flying you out,
No.
but throw yourself on tape. Like, let's see what you can do because I think she has a lot of gifts.
No, and she had moments there that really impressed me. And then at the end, she finds out inexplicably. Well, through the pilot, you find out that she might be pregnant. Like she's about to throw up a few times in the pilot. So it's leading there. And then at the end,
High stakes.
the aunt says to her, but she never says it. The aunt says, and we got to make a room for a baby in this house. And everyone's like, what? And Kenya's like, huh? And she's like, I know you're pregnant. The aunt just knows.
So the aunt is kind of not just fabulous, a psychic.
She's like, you're pregnant. I knew you've been throwing up all week, acting crazy, and everyone. And then Kenya doesn't even say, I'm going to take a pregnancy test. She's like, I'm pregnant.
Well, maybe the aunt is like a soothsayer.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like she believes her. And then they just all decide that it's true. And it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Happy ending.
Happy ending. Well, thanks, Danielle. This has been fun.
Yeah, it sure has. Thanks, Kenya.
Bye.